I'm an evangelical minister.
Praise be thou, Lord God.
That goes to the core of my identity. My constituency would be conservative, very conservative.
Thank you, NRA! Thank you!
In my community, we talk about the sanctity of life, the value of every human life.
Is that a pro-life ethic?
It absolutely is, Rob, because the only thing that stops a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun.
3 of those bullets had found their target. 1 of them had entered his right side.
When I would hear about shootings, I would pray for the people, but I never thought it would ever happen to us. I never thought.
It's vitally important that you help. They will listen to you.
These are very, very sensitive subjects that you all are very close to for different reasons. And was it kind of a hard movie to make? Because some of these scenes, I was crying watching it, much less living it like you guys have.
Yeah, there were definitely times when I needed to take a little bit of time to recover myself. It was a hard movie to start because it involved me having to kind of step out and reach out to people I normally wouldn't talk to. But in the long run, all better, all deeper, all richer because of that.
Yeah. Was it hard for you two to do? Because it got pretty personal for both of you guys on camera.
It's just always reliving it over and over again and having to recall why I'm doing the work and just being saddened that I have to do the work. You know, I mean, I love Abby and I love, you know, Rob, but the fact that we have to come together to do this for the reasons, that's very painful.
So since going through the journey of this film, have your views changed at all?
My mind has opened up in terms of politics because I've met and related to a lot of people who have very different politics from mine, and maybe I'm less of a chauvinist than I used to be.
For me, of course, I started approaching the whole question really without a real firm position on Christians and gun ownership and use. As we went along in the project and the film went on, I talked to more and more pastors, especially church leaders across the country. I became more convinced that this is a serious moral and ethical crisis in the church. And for me, that's a theological question as well. So my conviction has deepened through the experience.
So what advice would you give people that are looking to get into this business? Because it's a tough one.
You could have a famous great uncle. That's a good way to start. I think that I produced a lot before I directed, and I waited for this film to direct, and I directed this one in particular because it really did come from the tips of my toes. It was something I really needed to say, and my heart was totally in it. And I really believe that if you want to be in the expressive arts, it needs to come from the tips of your toes. You need to say something, and that's how this film came out of me.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and it came out so well too. I know you guys have to be so proud, but what is it that you want people to get out of this, if nothing else?
You know, it's not so much what as how. I want people to come out of this in a different how. Yeah. I want them to come out willing to talk and to listen radically. Rob is a great example of a radical listener, which is not a skill everyone has. And I want them to be willing to reach out to people they don't necessarily all agree with. I want them to be willing to change. I don't think many of us are all that willing to change. And I want there to be a dialogue. I really don't think that as a country we've ever really had a conversation about our values around the taking of human life. And we really shouldn't be legislating until we've had that conversation.
Yeah.
Just for me, it's truly about saving lives in the most elementary way. That everyone in this country be able to live the way God truly intended us to live, that we can take different backgrounds and cultures and faiths and ideas and ethnicities and still understand on one accord that God is God and that we are all to live the way that He intended us to live, and that morally we're all responsible to one another. And so this is the kind of living and breathing that we have to usher in every single day of our lives.